Hello Capricorn, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here with your November 2025 mid-month general reading. We're looking at the second half of November. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch these videos. Please do subscribe and like. If you know your other sign placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, any of that, watch those videos as well for additional insight. If something really hits home with you and you'd like to explore what it means and how to deal with it in your own personal life or situation, or you just like the reading style, if you're interested in a personal reading with me for yourself or as a gift for someone else, we are approaching the holiday season and personal readings make easy and wonderful personal gifts. But if you're interested, you can email me, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description below of this video to see those contact details as well. I can usually get back to you same day. I cover all areas of life, love and romance, relationship and partner compatibility, career, work, money, investment. I do 6 and 12-month overviews, different types, costs, spreads, something for everyone. And I'm very diligent about the timely scheduling of personal readings, as this is what I do full time. So email me if you're interested. And for those of you who will be celebrating Thanksgiving during this time period, a wonderful, happy holiday to you. Okay, Capricorn, we begin with the Hermit. Wisdom. Being mentored or mentoring or teaching or being taught, perhaps. Trying to use your experience, wisdom, and knowledge, which is considerable, to help you navigate a way forward. We have the Lovers here. Partnership, relationships. Looking at our choices and how they affect us and the people around us and asking ourselves, are the choices in alignment? It does suggest that a pretty significant decision has to be made, either about a partnership or in another area of life that will impact a partnership. Next, we have the Nine of Swords, my least favorite card in the tarot because it represents overthinking something, thinking about it obsessively, and with the worst possible negative outcome. Thinking about it too much, all of your deep-seated fears, putting too much energy into them. You can see that this tree, behind her has all of a sudden morphed into kind of a monster with arms and claws. When we overthink something and think about it obsessively, typically with only thinking about like the worst possible way it could turn out or the worst possible things that could happen without balancing it also with what's the best way, then those fears become magnified and unrealistic. And it causes us a lot of stress, anxiety, worry, sleepless nights. So less of that. Now your crowning energy, overall theme and focus is the Nine of Coins. You're going to be able to navigate this because you've worked really hard to get to a place where you're capable, practical, resourceful. This is a card of somebody who's worked hard to get to a place where they are all of those things and they no longer need to rely on external validation or support for themselves. They have what they need to navigate forward. Because it's a card about the self-confidence and self-empowerment that comes from working hard to build ourselves and build our lives. It looks like there's an issue that you need to face here, an issue that you're facing or some kind of challenge that you're facing, and choices need to be made, and you're overthinking it and you're thinking about it in like a negative way, and it's making all your fears become magnified and somewhat unrealistic, when in fact you can deal with this, you can navigate this, you and your partner, if it's a decision you need to make jointly. Well, typically if you're in a partnership, all the significant decisions should be made in a joint kind of way anyway. So let's take a look at that Nine of Coins. Two of Cups, strong emphasis on partnership and being in alignment with each other. Strength, facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, including any responsibility you have for this in the situation as well. And the Sun, a lessening and uplifting of heavy and restrictive energies. Look, everything about this suggests that in spite of the somewhat unrealistic fear of the Nine of Swords, you actually and or with your partner have the ability to navigate through this. It's not the great big huge boogeyman that you think it is. Let's take a look at the Hermit. It also suggests that you need to remember who you are and where you've come from and all the work that you've put into your life so far. And it doesn't mean that you perhaps may have worked hard at some things that didn't turn out well, or that you've worked hard at some things that it turned out you decided that wasn't for you, like in work career. It doesn't invalidate any of that. All of the paths that we try, whether or not we succeed at them or decide to go in a different direction, all of those things are learning experiences, and we take all of that with us. So you have the ability to take what you have learned and navigate through this in a much better way than the Nine of Swords would have you believe. All right, let's take a look at that Hermit. The Hermit again. The Seven of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is taking a look at your resources or what you have to, what you've put the work into so far, and asking yourself what you want to do moving forward. The Five of Pentacles is insufficiency and lack, or feeling like you don't belong, right? Might be financial and material insufficiency, you know, being out of work, not having enough money, feeling somehow out on the outside like you don't belong. Let's take a look at the Lovers. It's pretty clear that a choice needs to be made here. For some of you, it may have something to do also with financial and material things. It may be that a decision needs to be made about money or about career and work. It may be that somebody needs to look for a different job, or look for a job, period, perhaps. Some of you, you may be feeling like you don't fit in or belong to a certain group, whether that's at work or in your community or even within your family or extended family system. But it's actually easier to plug in than you think it is. You simply have to make the first move and initiate. All right, the Lovers. Kind of like some of you may think, you know, I want to be more of a part of this, my in-laws family, or I want to be more part of this group, or I want to join this whatever, but you hold off because you think, oh, you're not good enough, or they'll think I'm stupid, or somehow you're not going to fit in. But I think that all you really need to do is kind of self-initiate, and the underlying message here, whatever this situation is, because it's a general reading, is that it's going to be easier than you think. You just need to take the bull by the horns and move forward. All right, the Lovers. The Four of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Star, making decisions about whether to give or receive something, perhaps needing to ask for help in order to achieve something that you've really been wanting. It may be that you are wanting to make a move of some kind. Perhaps it might be a literal move for some of you, moving or relocating to a different place, apartment, home, something like that, but feeling like maybe you don't have quite enough, or your credit isn't quite sufficient, and you're looking for ways to get help, a cosigner or asking someone for help, something of that sort. For some of you in a partnership, it may be that some of you may be going through a bit of a mental or emotionally, a mentally or emotionally or both difficult period of time. And it may be that you need to create a more specific focus in your life, a more specific routine or focus in your life. It may be that some of you are feeling like you're lost, or that you're not fitting in, or that you're separate. You're in your own bubble somehow in an unpleasant way. But what you need to do is put the efforts into getting outside of that bubble and creating something like a different routine or focus for yourself. Because that's going to make you feel more connected to the people around you, or more connected to the world in general. Let's take a look at this Nine of Swords. You know, like either starting up a hobby that connects with other people, or joining a class, or getting a job if you're not working, even a part-time job. Because I'm getting that there's, for some of you, it's some of you, maybe not a large part of you, but some of you have too much free time on your hands, and you're just kind of floundering, choosing a focus, a new course of study, something like that. All right, Nine of Swords. Others of you, it's about considering and needing to ask for some kind of help in order to move forward, and it may be financial or material help. Whether it's from people that you know, or from, institutional agencies. Nine of Swords. The Tower. You're afraid something's not going to work out well. You're afraid of the sky falling in, basically. You're afraid of significant and profound change that you won't be able to deal with. The Knight of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. That all your hard work and knowledge won't pay off, that all your hard work and skills won't get you anywhere. These are the fears that I'm seeing. Maybe you're worried about financial and material things. Maybe you've gotten yourself into a place where you feel financially and materially stuck, and you need help to get out of that. What I'm also getting here, though, too, for some of you, is the need to choose a specific goal of something or a focus, and then begin to take action to follow that focus. Like if you want to acquire a new skill or get some new knowledge or certifications, joining signing up for something, a class or a school or something like that, or, a job. Again, it's about creating some kind of more specific focus here. There is a stress on partnership here. But again, this underlying energy that you can figure this out. And it's actually not as huge as you think it is, and it's not going to have this kind of catastrophic sort of outcome you're imagining that it's going to have. That you're able to get through this both together and making those decisions and being in alignment with those decisions, and in the people around you, because it feels like some of you have family or people around you that are absolutely willing to help, as long as you're willing to do your part as well. So, advice, guidance, feedback from Spirit. There's a sense of being afraid to do something, and giving yourself all kinds of reasons why you can't, or why something wouldn't work out. But it's kind of keeping you stuck, this perspective. The Eight of Swords. Stop being a victim of your own thoughts, ideas. This is somebody who says, I'm in a situation that I don't like. It's not fulfilling to me, but I'm afraid of change. I'm afraid that it's going to be too much hard work. I'm afraid that getting myself out of it is going to be too challenging, or, You know, all the excuses, reasons, and justifications that we tell ourselves why we can't affect change in a situation when in fact we can. So it's kind of like being a victim of our own thoughts, you know, that say, oh, we can't, I can't because of this and I can't because of that, but you can. So don't tell yourself that you can't. Remember that 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Coins, you have everything you need to navigate through this. The Lovers, making sure that your decisions, especially those that are about partnership or that affect partnership, are in alignment with your true core values and with your partner's true core values as well. There's a perspective here. You may need to make some sacrifices in regards to, in the name of security and stability, not only for your home, your family, your relationship, but for your own mental and emotional health as well. Choosing a focus, choosing some kind of specific focus or a job or a course of learning, something that gives you something that you need to do every day, something that gives you some kind of sense of routine and discipline every day. For those of you going through financial, you know, kind of hardship right now, it's about following a tried and true path. Some of you have chosen not to work, perhaps in a partnership, one of you have chosen not to work, but it feels like here, if you've hit in a rough financial patch, or again, you find yourself with too much time on your hands and it's affecting your mental and emotional health in a negative way, again, this is about choosing some kind of traditional focus, whether it's, you know, going back to school or getting some kind of job or something that gives you a path and specific steps on that path. And not letting your fears and doubts and concerns run away with you. It looks like you have support around you, and to rely on that support as well. All right, I'm going to leave it there, Capricorn. Those are your messages for the second half of November 2025. I hope it was helpful for those of you for whom this hit home and made sense and resonated for you. If it did, and you'd like to explore what it means and what to do in your own personal life and situation, or you just like the reading style, if you are interested in a personal reading for yourself or for someone else or both, email me for more information, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description below of this video to see those contact details as well. I would love to hear from you. I will see you all in a short while. Be safe, be well, many blessings to you. And again, those of you that will be celebrating Thanksgiving during this time period, I wish you a wonderful, blessed, lovely, peaceful holiday. And I hope to see you back here again very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.